House Speaker Mike Johnson has passed a few of the major hurdles before him in his quest to get Trump's big, beautiful, devastating, corrupt bill passed. And he's super excited about it. He said, the American people are counting on us to get this done and get it done quickly. And we are on target to do it. And in some sense, is that true? I mean, I guess people expect a budget to be passed, but he knows as well as I know, as well as you know, that the American people don't want Medicaid to be cut. They certainly don't want $1 trillion cut out of it. They don't want 9 to 14.5 million Americans thrown off of Medicaid, many millions of them Republicans, many millions of them MAGA, stripped of their health insurance, left to suffer and potentially die. I think he knows that's not what the American people want. So good idea on his part to keep it vague, keep it abstract. And so the poll is super clear again, but he's not gonna let the truth stop him. He's got a job to do, and that job is paying back his donors. You don't buy Trump, you don't buy the Republican Party to not get paid back by the trillions. And so his work is not yet done. Even as, and there's some additional obstacles, by the way. Even as the committees approved their slices of the plan and party line votes, 3 different little subsections of it that were passed in the middle of the night, House Republican leaders faced dissent in their ranks that could delay or derail passage. Conservative lawmakers have argued the proposed cuts to Medicaid, which stopped short of an overhaul in an effort to protect vulnerable Republicans, do not go far enough. You know, the better part of $1 trillion they're cutting, the 10 to maybe 16, 17% of all the people on Medicaid that will soon not be on it, that doesn't go far enough, because I guess technically it does still exist. And if you're gonna kill it, why not fully kill it, I suppose. But don't listen to me, listen to House Freedom Caucus Chairman Andy Harris. He called the Medicaid cuts a joke, saying the proposal to stop waste, fraud, and abuse in Medicaid will do little to achieve that. Well, I agree. It's not actually cutting fraud. It's not actually cutting waste. It's just cutting Medicaid. So I suppose when you lie about the goal, then you're not actually going to achieve it. I guess I agree with him there. But apologies to this TD, I jumped back into it. The common sense work requirement for able-bodied adults doesn't start for 4 years into the next administration and can be, thank God, and can be waived by any state for hardship. He puts in quotes. Hardship. Oh, you can't work because you're disabled, you're incapable of, yeah, like you could do this. That doesn't stop the fact that there are many people that would love to work but can't, or do work but can't get enough hours to comply with the onerous regulations, or do work. But the intentionally Byzantine bureaucracy that you're setting up means that they'll slip through the cracks anyway. You doing this doesn't cancel out reality, you a-hole. Anyway, what a joke. The swamp is real. I gotta pause there again. I apologize to the TD. You're a good person, I'm a bad person. The swamp is real? The swamp is people making $16,000 a year and getting Medicaid and then not working 100 hours a month. That's the swamp to you. And by the way, the federal government should not pay states more for able-bodied working age adults on Medicaid than it pays states for children, pregnant women, seniors, and people with disabilities on Medicaid, which is definitely something he cares so much about. Oh, he'd love to jack up the amount they're paying for those people. Sure, I have another hand gesture other than this one, but kids might be watching, so I won't do it on camera. But anyway, so that's an issue for Mike Johnson, that this guy thinks, well, we have to fully kill it. On the other side, you go to the Senate and you have Josh Hawley. So he says this is real Medicaid benefit cuts, okay? So he's not using the sort of cover language that Mike Johnson is using. It's like, oh, it's waste, fraud, abuse. It's like, no, they're just cutting benefits. That's what they're doing. And so in the Senate, I think that they can only lose like 3 votes or something. It's reconciliation, so there's no filibuster, obviously. Stuff that benefits the rich, you never can filibuster. Let's just be clear about that. Raising the minimum wage a cent or two an hour. Oh, that would and has been filibustered hardcore. But doing all of this, benefiting the wealthy, no, you can't filibuster that. Let's be clear about that. So Josh Hawley could potentially be a problem in the Senate. So House and Senate, there's still some issues. But I would love to fill you with positive thoughts and optimism, but I'm not gonna give you false optimism. Again, I don't think, the issues he has could affect the final outcome. I don't think it stops it. I just don't think it does. This is the reason the Republicans got elected, was to do this. to cut to the bone spending that goes to regular Americans and to hand all of that over to the wealthy. They're not gonna pass up this opportunity. Like, you could have the Democrats come in with Joe Biden and have, these things they campaigned on, got elected for, and then, oops, can't raise the minimum wage or whatever. It was too hard, because their donors fundamentally didn't want them to accomplish that. But their donors do want them to accomplish this. And so we'll see. They can lose 3 in the Senate, 3 in the House, but no more than that. Probably harder in the House, I guess, since you have people, maybe 1 or 2 that think the cuts are too much, and then maybe you have 1 or 2 that think the cuts aren't enough, but again, remains to be seen. I'm not overly optimistic. But let's jump into this. There's a different side of it, and I think it's fascinating. So as they're doing this big, beautiful bill, taxes are a part of that. You got all the cuts to Medicaid, that sort of thing, SNAP benefits, all of that. But then you have the taxes. And that's a thing where some people might think, maybe this will benefit me. I mean, that's the way it's been sold, right? No tax on tips, that should help a bunch of people. In practice, it's really not going to, because the people who find that appealing are people who, they just don't make enough money each year for their taxes to be significant enough for there to really be much of a tax cut off of that. That's just the way the numbers work out. So sure, they may get $100, they may get $200 or something, which is nice. But when they don't have Medicaid anymore, I don't know that that's really a great bargain for them at that point. And so there's always going to be a lot of issues with the way the tax cuts portion of this was done. It's obviously made to benefit the billionaires. But I didn't know, and I don't know if you do, the insidious way that it's even more of a scam, even more BS than I thought. And we have my favorite way of demonstrating that. We have a chart that shows numbers for government policy. And so that breaks down a bunch of the different tax cuts they're gonna be doing. And the important distinguishing factor between the yellow and the purple is how long they last. That's something that isn't talked about much. No tax on tips, but wait, until when? Well, as of right now, they're planning for it to be up in 2028. $1,000 increase in the standard deduction, which could theoretically help out some middle-class families. 2028, no tax on overtime. 2028, $500 increase in child tax credit. 2028, and the pattern here is anything that benefits regular people, whether it actually benefits them, as like maybe the child tax credit change will, that sort of thing, tax breaks for research and development, that's more of a corporate thing, that could actually benefit people. Some of it's fake, it's made up, it's a myth, it's not actually gonna benefit you, but at least it's designed to seem like it will. All of that's gone in just a few years. But you know what's not? Lower tax rates overall on the wealthy. That's permanent. That'll just last forever. Higher standard deduction overall, forever. Tax break for business owners, forever. Oh, well, this one is good for poor and working class Americans. A higher estate tax threshold. Oh, thank God. I don't want to pay too much taxes on the estate I leave to my heirs someday. Those are all permanent. And isn't that strange? Isn't that noteworthy? The stuff that benefits regular people is like, I'll give them a couple years or whatever. Make it seem like it's good, but let's not go crazy. Let's not make that stuff permanent. Maybe we'll get back to it around 2028. But the stuff for the rich, forever. 500 years from now. No, that's not looking far enough ahead. Let's do this in terms Elon Musk would care about. When the sun swells into a red giant and roasts the surface of the earth, as our oceans boil away, these tax cuts for the wealthy will still be in effect. And again, I want to point to this as like the most indisputable demonstration of how this bill is just designed to benefit those who already have the most. And this is a great demonstration of that. But get in line, chart. There's already so many. The overall benefit from the tax cuts is overwhelmingly to the rich. I mean, the stuff that they're cutting to make way for this. You notice they're not cutting the military contracts. They're not cutting subsidies to oil companies to pay for these. They're cutting food stamps. They're cutting Medicaid. It's all on the backs of the poor. But again, the real question is gonna be, will people see this? Will people, millions of whom voted for Donald Trump and the Republicans, see how utterly, unrelentingly they have been screwed over? So Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos and Donald Trump can get a tax cut. So Marjorie Greene can pay less estate tax someday. Are they gonna notice this? We have done, and I think you will agree, as much as we can possibly do to focus on this, basically every day on the show. But it's gonna come down to the people to realize it and to actually act on it. And one other thing I just wanna mention before we end, two quick things, I apologize. Another way that they're screwing you over that I hadn't seen, I've been doing a lot of reading of this. So the child tax credit is gonna come back and they might even make it bigger. So that's good, right? That's even, dare I say it, populist, right? Mostly. They made one small change to it. I don't even see this being reported very much. I think the New York Times talked about it. So let's say that you have a kid who is a citizen, okay? But their parent doesn't have a social security number. They might be undocumented or whatever. Should they receive the child benefit, the child tax benefit? Well, they do now. If you're an American citizen kid and your parents are undocumented, the tax credit still happens. Why? Because the money benefits the kid. It's spent on food and clothing, education, all of that for that American citizen to benefit. Not under this, they're changing it. They're changing it. Now look, maybe this is just designed to screw over migrants. Maybe this is just designed to advance their hatred of birthright citizenship or whatever. But like even when they're doing their tiny little fig leaf of populism, they gotta find a way to inject some identity politics into it. And they are. And really fast, I just wanna remind everyone, they have also added in that nonprofit killer thing we'd previously talked about months ago to the tax bill as well. So the ability for the Secretary of the Treasury to just say that a nonprofit is supporting terrorism, and that's it, it's gone. It has no more tax benefit or tax exempt status anymore. And so if you're speaking out against genocide, if you're calling for an end to a war or whatever, they can just snap their fingers and effectively kill your nonprofit, make it financially unsustainable. And this comes after years of them saying that the IRS was being too hard on right-wing organizations. So little fun little irony to end things right there.